Boebert, Congresswoman, always great to see you. Before we get to the Democrat socialist efforts to disarm law-abiding citizens, you're a firebrand. You're an unapologetic conservative. Now, you've seen these milquetoast Republicans up close. How is it that you see the threats the Democrats pose so clearly, but these Republicans can't? Why?
You know, that was a question that I asked myself before I got into this. I was tired of politicians coming to our towns making promises that they were never going to keep. They would tell us this great conservative message, so we would send them to secure our rights, to be our voice in Washington, D.C. But then they get there and they forget who they work for. They work for we the people. They get to D.C., they overregulate, overtax, overspend, and destroy everything that we are building so hard at home. Look, Chris, I took out a 5-term incumbent because I was tired of people telling me that he was a conservative, and then we weren't getting those votes. We weren't getting that kind of impact back home, and our district was suffering because of it. I took on an establishment member of Congress because the people of Colorado deserved better, and that's exactly why I'm here. I promised them that I would be their voice, and that's exactly what I'm doing in Washington, D.C. Gone are the days of politicians coming town to town, lying to us to get where they want in this political game. The future of the party is promises kept.
Yeah, we need a Xerox copy of you at least in 17 instances I can think of. Okay, let's get back to the issue at hand. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is making clear that Joe Biden looks forward to repealing something called the liability shield. That protects gun manufacturers from frivolous lawsuits. Now, this is, of course, a blatant effort by the anti-American left to drive gun manufacturers out of business, thus depriving Americans of their right of self-defense with firearms. It's not that complicated. What say you?
I'm just wondering when we're going to go after the fork and spoon and knife manufacturers for obesity. I mean, this is pretty clear right now at this point. There's no such thing as moderate Democrats. When the left is terming things like common sense gun control, it's really an all-out assault on our Second Amendment. We saw 2 bills passed last week in the House, and they're horrific. They're stripping Americans of their constitutional rights. And then right after that, the Democrats call for a press conference for an all-out ban on more than 200 types of firearms and magazines. And I'm not going down that path, Chris. I stand with the Constitution, and it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And it's interesting, our founding fathers gave government a list of items that they said, keep your dirty, corrupt hands off of these things. They belong to the people. They are God-given rights to the people, not given by politicians. Keep your dirty hands off of them. And that's all politicians seem to go after. So as a freshman member of Congress, I was actually given a copy of our Constitution. And I think it's time that more members of Congress take a look at what it actually says.
Yeah, they might need to brush up on it a little bit. Let's just say, for argument's sake, the socialists, absent a real opposition party that we already talked about, is able to disarm Americans. Now, these are the same incompetent boobs that can't stop humans, drugs, and illegal guns flowing over our southern borders. So if the Democrats get their way, this is what America will look like in short order. The only folks who will be armed will be the government and the criminals. That scares the hell out of me. How about you?
That's exactly what we're seeing in real time. The Democrats are showing us that they protect who and what they care for. We just left an administration where President Trump wanted to secure our country because he loves America and he loves the people of America. He wanted to protect the people who live here. And Democrats are showing us that they don't give a darn about the people who live here. They want open borders. They want every state to be a border state, allowing thousands of illegal aliens to come through. We don't even know if they have the China virus or not. There are reports of many of them being infected with the China virus and still being released and being bussed into our communities. But Democrats, they feel threatened. And look, we have a wall around the People's House, around our nation's capital, with miles of razor wire and armed National Guards. Democrats care about government, they care about big government, and they care about themselves.